Welcome back, everyone. This video is about extending types. This is an extension or continuation of video number 8, chapter number 8, the basics of creating your own discriminated unions or records. So, in this video, I'll talk about extending existing types, something which you can do in C Sharp also with what is known as extension methods. The same technique is available in F Sharp also, but there's more to it in F Sharp than in C Sharp. So this is again chapter number 23. So I've copied this code. The very first example is the most basic one: how to create your own type and extend it with member functions or static members or instance members. So this is and you can do this exactly for a record type also: static members, an instance member, and again a static member for overloading the plus operator for whatever this type is. So this technique you can use with any record or discriminated union that you create for yourself. Now, the second technique is, or the second area is to add members to modules, okay? Not members to types. When you add members to types, that's an extension of a type. What we are doing here is adding this function to a module that already exists. Now, you may create this function outside this module anyway, but adding related functions, the functions that you are creating, adding those to existing modules brings consistency in naming, usage, and so on and so forth. So this is an example of adding toString value to result module, and nearly all the functions are pretty useless so far the objectives are concerned. But the idea is to showcase how to achieve this. It's to ignore the bodies of the functions through and through. So we are adding toString value to result module so that you can type in, just like you can say result.map, you can say result dot this. It will be available down below after it is created and taken effect. Okay. So this is create your own types and attach member functions. This is attach new functions to existing modules. Now this is F Sharp way of this is a parallel between F Sharp and C Sharp's extension methods. So what I'll talk about below is the C Sharp style extension methods. This is F Sharp style extension methods. Now I'm not a fan of this whole too many ways of doing the same thing ideology. This is one of my personal issue with many technologies and languages. So there has to be one definite comprehensive way of doing certain things. Sadly, there are multiple ways of doing creating extensions, and both have different challenges, limitations, and whatnot. This is personally, I dislike this very much, but this is what we have. Now, this has a fancy name called optional type extensions versus C Sharp style extension methods. How do you do that? Here is your type, and then here is your another type. You are declaring, so if you're not extending a module, you're not attaching functions to a module, you are attaching members to a type. So this is the syntax: type some existing type with member this. So whenever this is involved, an instance of this becomes this, and rest is you can imagine. Okay. Now this is C Sharp style extension methods. So this and this technique, there is a big difference in terms of the amount of generics and constraints which generics is supported. This is considered to be the inferior methodology because this is not well supported by generics and where clauses, and so on and so forth. This on the other side is pretty rich. So I haven't talked about generics and the constraints and clauses, etc. So whenever we talk about it, because that's another dirty area in F sharp, it's very complicated to write. But I'll retouch this. So this is C sharp style extension methods. You begin with this. You're creating a type which is nothing but a bundle of extensions, and then you begin with this attribute, and each member you're creating has to also be labeled with this attribute. Another thing to pay attention is that a single parameter function may be declared like this or this, but in case you have multiple parameters, you have to follow the tuple C sharp term, methodology, as opposed to F sharp style space separated functions. So this is what I've also explained in the examples below, that this function will not appear in the extensions. So you may wonder, for example, this function, what type are we extending? So if you look carefully, this is, we are passing this to this function, result dot toString value. This is passed to this, and this function expects a result. So this extension, by inference and indirect stitching and whatnot, this here becomes a result in all these examples. And append is a string, no surprises there, because this is returning a string. So this is where things get convenient when working with F sharp and type inference. So quickly recapping: your own type, static members, instance member, static member for overloading an operator. This is how you add more functions to existing modules. Okay, this is how you create extensions for types in the F sharp way, also known as optional type extensions. And these extensions are not available outside F sharp. So if you compile this library or assembly and try to use this in C sharp, this won't appear. Okay, and this is exactly the way C sharp style extension methods work. In C sharp, it's much simpler for a change. This decoration is killer for me, and these don't offer all the capabilities that these offer, largely due to the limitations of generics and where clauses, etc. So we will discuss that bit later. And so check out the blog, and there's I have given all sorts of examples. You can run through these. Okay, all right, see you in the next one.